Hello, gang. I am here on a Tuesday in sunny New York, and I've been quilting, which has been lovely. It's been an interesting week. Let me know that you're here in the comments. Let me turn those on. Leave a comment when you get here so that I know that they're working, because they aren't always working. So let's see what's new. It is Tuesday. We aren't in the 90s, which is nice. Excuse me. We are below, we're in the 80s all week. It's not terribly humid, so it's rather comfortable right now. I just have a dehumidifier running. I have a big pile of basted quilts lined up behind me, which is nice, so that whenever I get ready to quilt, um, as in I'm ready to quilt, all I have to do is grab a quilt. So I do still have, sadly, a very tall stack right next to me here of quilts that need to be basted and quilted. So this won't be ending anytime soon. Um, but it is nice to be able to have a quilt basted and ready to go. What else is new? I've had a sick husband home since Thursday, still home. We found an answer and he's on the mend. I have an injured child, which is fun. I like to say that it was a heroic act that injured him, but it wasn't. Whenever I broke my collarbone 5 years ago on the 5th of July, I was walking around in a brace on my arm and teaching, and people are like, oh my word, what happened? And I would tell them, well, I live in a remote area and there's not much traffic. Um, and there was a child went out into the street because there was a bunny in the street. So the child picked up the bunny, was looking at the bunny and didn't notice the car, and the car didn't notice the kid. So I went and I had to save the kid and the bunny. People like, oh my, I broke my collarbone. People like, oh my word, really? I'm like, no, I rolled out of bed. So I put together a good story for my child as well. But, they're going with the slipped and fell thing. So, yeah, so that's going on. And I'm getting ready to leave town. I am going to So Inspired in Simsbury, Connecticut. The Handy Quilter van is there, which means there are 6 Amara 20s on frames waiting for hands-on class instruction. I'm so excited. So on Friday, I'm teaching intro long arm basics. So if you want to know about a long arm, or if you've got a long arm and aren't sure about what you're doing, we're going to load the quilt. We're going to talk about thread. We're going to thread the quilts, thread the machines. We're going to do free motion quilting, and we're going to do some ruler quilting. So it'll really have a great way to answer all your questions. I'm doing a half day of free motion quilting, hands-on, a half day of ruler quilting, hands-on, and a full day of Pro Stitcher, hands-on, which is lovely. I love getting my students to have hands-on instruction. So I hope to see some of you there. If you're here, leave me a comment so that I know the comments are working, because so far nothing's coming through. But I am happy you're here. What else have I been doing in between what has been going on this week, which has kept me rather busy? I have been doing some sewing. I'm trying to piece a color block quilt, but I have all my gray fabric out for color blocks right now. So I'm trying to stitch down through all of my color blocks in gray. My stack of gray color blocks is about there now, so that I can move in the next color for August, which will be yellow. So the yellow is out waiting for me to finish the gray so I can put it away. So that's what I'm working on. The new quilt that's been posted for this week is behind me on the wall. This is a cutie quilt. It is Cutie Quilts I design, and my friend Kathy designs. They are made with 16 fat 8s and some other yardage. So this quilt, 16 fat 8s, and the yardage is the gray that I used for the background and the binding. And of course, patterns don't usually include borders and backings. Don't include backing and batting, but the amounts are given there. So that's the cutie quilts. So this I didn't make with a cutie pack. I made with 1.5-inch strips of fabric. So it wasn't a cutie quilt, but It's a cutie pattern. And I fell in love with this quilt the more I quilted it, the more I worked on it, because I pulled all the blue out. I will be able to make another quilt in all blues. But this quilt looks really fun without the blue in it. It's very pinky orangey. So I put an orange backing on it and a yellow binding. And I quilted it with bright yellow thread. So this quilt is on my As the Bobbin Turns. It's a special video just for my my subscribers on As the Bobbin Turns. You can subscribe monthly or annually, and you get all of that catalog, everything that's in there. You can watch and see how I quilted. It's just kind of a peek over my shoulder as I'm quilting. So let me see. We got some comments coming in. I have Joan. You tried to watch on YouTube but can't figure out how to comment there. The comments are usually on the upper right if you're on a computer. Not sure about a phone, but I'm glad you're here. And let's see, Susan. You're working on learning your new to me long arm. Well, if you are near Connecticut, call and see if they have any openings. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Otherwise, I wish you well. I don't have an online how to long arm soup to nuts class, but it is super fun. And it's, there are so many aha moments. People are like, oh, that's so much easier. So ask an occasional question here. See if I can get you some help. Let's see. Molly, hello, friend. I'm glad you're here. So again, you can check out my As the Bobbin Turns, which is just an over-the-shoulder peek at the quilts I'm quilting for myself, classes I have in progress, and things like that. So you get a first look at everything, and it's all there for you. I have like a Halloween stocking pattern in there and how I quilted it. I have a couple lessons of a walking foot spiral class that I'm working on. I have animal like cats, and I have cat how to quilt cats free motion in a circle, and a couple other things in there. So these are all like, they'll eventually become classes, but as I'm playing with them, you get to see it, which is kind of nice. Let's see, what else am I working on? I have, like I said, been kind of a little weird week, but I got a kit when I was at a quilt retreat that my girlfriend and I had in the Berkshire Mountains. We were at a quilt shop right near Jiminy Peak, and I can't remember the name of the quilt shop, and I'm really sorry for that. But I bought a kit there, and it had a little charm pack of 2.5-inch squares. So I'm not sure what that's called, but the 2.5-inch pack. And it came with a pattern and fabric and little dangles for the zippers and stuff. And it was really cool. So before I stitched it, I grabbed out my my color blocks, 2.5-inch squares, because I have a few of them, and I made a sample of the bag. So this was really fun to make. I added a longer handle because I like something to hold on while I'm zipping it closed. So that'll be fun. I have a lot of gift bags made, and what I would love to do is come up with different things to fill the gift bags to give these as gifts. I mean, little zippy bags. So, I was thinking for a quilter, I could put in a spool of thread and a charm pack and a new rotary blade and things like that as a present for a quilter. If you have ideas for other things that could go in a bag to be giving a gift, I'm thinking more for women, because guys wouldn't be so into a zippy bag like this necessarily. But it could also be for a non-quilting friend. For a while, I've given a fun bag to moms, and it was a full-size chocolate bar, a ring pop, a 32 box of crayons, lip gloss, a Starbucks gift card, things like that. And it's all mom stuff that you don't have to share, because moms might want to color something. But if you have ideas for things to put in gift bags, I would love to see that, because I have all these little bags to give away, and they would make nice gifts. So yeah, thinking about that. And let's see, the other thing that happened this week, I have a friend whose mom passed, and her mom was a quilter. I knew her mom, not well, but I knew her mom. And she's giving me some of the stuff in the sewing room, just like she wants it gone. And one of the things that is magical, look at this. This is all Aurifil 50 weight thread. This is one of the 4 boxes of thread. And I don't think my friend knows that this is a ooh moment for any quilter. Let me see if I can open this. Here we go. Look at all of that. Mom did hand applique, hand piecing, hand quilting. So it's a lot of work like that. The needles, the pins, the safety pins. It's just been, it's a treasure looking through it. My girlfriend was looking through it, and she's like, I'm not even sure what some of this is. There's some tatting shuttles. So that's given me 2 things to think about. Let's see, Shannon here. Journaling supplies. Oh, that would be fun. A bag and a journal and, pencil, pen, stickers, stuff like that, colored pencils. That would be fun. Thank you for that. I've been thinking 2 things of it. One, I have a lot of largesse to share here. So I will be taking this to future quilt retreats and stuff and sharing with other quilters and guilds and things like that to spread the wealth. And the other thing I was thinking is, how much stuff do I have? Like I had a really rough year last year, and if something had happened to me, my husband would have had to go through all of this. Is anyone streamlining their sewing supplies to make things easy for something to happen? I'm thinking about that. I'm like, ooh, do I really, do I have all these rulers? Do I have all of these things? So as I'm thinking about it, I was thinking of doing a D-stash on my store website of things that you can add to your order. And it's like, 50 cents for this pin cushion and 50 cents for this quilt pattern, things like that. So that may show up there. And it's really just take it. I just can't send you stuff that's free. My website won't allow that. So kind of has to have a price on it. But you can add it to any order because you're not going to get a 50-cent item and then pay shipping on it. So look for that. It might, fabric kits. Let's see. Yes, the thread, right? That's all Aurifil 50-way thread. And I tried to open, I took it to my husband and I opened it up. And I said, you look at this box of thread. And I'm thinking of when her mother bought this thread. So it might have only been $5, $3 to $5 a spool back then. But still, there's nearly 100 spools in there. So let's say it was worth $300 to $500. But the current replacement value is like $1,000 to buy that much thread. And by the way, that's one of the 4 boxes of thread I got. I took all the silk out and added it to my silk collection over there because she used a lot of silk for applique. The hand quilting thread I probably will pass on to someone because I don't do hand quilting. It's waxed hand quilting thread. I'll probably portion that up and pass that along to a hand quilter. Let's see, can I reach another box? Here's just a box of randoms. And what my husband doesn't even know, all the art bin boxes. Just, yeah. Let's see, I have another one here. I store them beside my quilting machine here. This one is all, what is this? Sorry, let me open this. So this is Gutermann cotton. Oh, this is all hand quilting thread. This entire box is hand quilting thread. So this will be passed along to someone who hand quilts, or maybe I'll take it up again. We'll see. I don't know. But look at all of this amazing hand quilting thread in here. Just kind of fun stuff. And again, I'm like, wow, look at all this cool stuff. And I'll find people to bless with it because I can't use it all in my lifetime. And then thinking of what is here. So it's getting me on organizing and finishing my quilts. Let me put this down. Finishing my quilts, organizing my sewing room, and trying to make sense of a lot of it to keep what I'm working on. So yeah, that's just the thread that was sitting here. There's more. I've got the rulers. I've got the rotary cutters, all the blades. And I have to go through to see which ones are new and which ones are used because I think some of them were used, put in a package, waiting to go to be disposed of. So I have to go through those. It's a lot. She found someone who would take the fabric, so I didn't have the fabric, which was great. I offered to take it and disperse it for her, but she found someone who was happy to have it. And I'm like, I have a couple quilts to finish for that mom, to give to the daughter. I've already finished one. I have a couple more to do. So it's a happy trade. I'm trying to think what else has been going on this week. Not tons. It's been home worrying about a sick husband. And by the way, it was a little complicated because it was a fever and body ache. So for a couple of days we were like flu, COVID, strep throat. There's a variety going around that doesn't have a sore throat. And then I was trying to get him to go to the doctor over the weekend. And then I caught a glimpse of one of his legs, and I saw a bunch of bug bites there that looked evil. I'm like, oh, Lyme's disease. It's either Lyme's disease or an infected bite. He did go to the doctor. They did agree with me. And he's now being treated and is waiting to feel better. But yeah, it was just a little, like, how long is he going to be sick for a man who's never sick? He's legitimately ill and feels horrible. And he was thinking after we figured out what was going on, he was thinking the longer this went on and the sicker I got, he was concerned about giving it to me because as sick as he was, it would put me in the hospital. So not contagious, everything's well. But I'm like, oh my word, I'm traveling this week. Am I going to catch something? What's going on? Not that was my first thought. I was worried about him, but that was a thought. So everybody's on the mend. Everything's turning out roses, but he's looking better, but not feeling better yet. And maybe he'll go to work. But it's been nice having him home again. It was a redo of the pandemic where he was home the entire time. So I kind of missed that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm piecing batting. I'm piecing color blocks. I'm doing a little quilting. I got that quilt quilted and the video is up for you. It should be, the links will be coming out in the newsletter for you in a couple minutes. When I'm done here, I'll send out the newsletter, and then I'll get working on next week's content. So thanks for visiting with me. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're well. And because no one is well where I am right now, but I hope you're well and happily quilting away. If I will see you in Connecticut at So Inspired, I look forward to that. Later this month, I'm thinking August. Later this month, I'm teaching just outside of Pittsburgh in Glenshaw, which is where I'm from originally. So this is the closest quilt store to my mom's house. And I'm going to be teaching there in August 14th. I think it's a Wednesday. So get in touch with the Quilting Needle quilt shop in Glenshaw. I think it's on Saxonburg Boulevard or something like that. It's over in a part I didn't usually drive, but it's about halfway between my house and my mom's house and my in-laws' house. So pretty cool. I'll be teaching there, and then I think Vermont in September. So have a great week. I will be back again. Let me check the calendar. I didn't check yet. For next Tuesday. Today, let's go to August. Yes, I will be back next week on a Tuesday. I only move the Tuesday to Wednesday if I have a doctor appointment. So that I try not to schedule them then, but when a specialist says, come here now, you do that. So I will see you again on Tuesday. Stay in touch. Sign up for my newsletter if you haven't yet done that, because either this week or next week, I'll add in the free pattern for this. So I have a pattern for it, but I found it free on the Moda website, and I'll link it to you for you. So happy quilting, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.